Hi, welcome to American History and the Bible. I'm going to read from 2 Chronicles based on chapter 5 through 7. And the article is called The Heart of a Grateful Nation. King David, blessed by God throughout his long life, envisioned building a majestic temple to honor the Lord. But God told David that it would instead be his son Solomon who would construct the building. So David prepared everything his son would need, and when Solomon became king, he built the temple, gathered the nation together, and dedicated the new structure with a time of prayer and praise. In 2 Chronicles 5 through 7, this can be found. The Spirit of God filled the temple and fell on those present, with God promising Solomon that he would hear and answer prayers prayed from that location. Significantly, this incident and this passage were invoked by the Founding Fathers at a significant moment early in the political life of a young America. On September 25th, 1789, the very first federal Congress had just finished framing the Bill of Rights, the capstone of the Constitution. On that notable day, the official records of Congress report, Mr. Elias Boudinot said he could not think of letting the session pass over without offering an opportunity to all the citizens of the United States of joining with one voice in returning to Almighty God their sincere thanks for the many blessings he had poured down upon them. With this view, therefore, he would move the following resolution. Resolved, that a joint committee of both houses be directed to wait upon the President of the United States to request that he would recommend to the people of the United States a day of public thanksgiving and prayer to be observed by acknowledging with grateful hearts the many signal favors of Almighty God. Mr. Roger Sherman justified the practice of thanksgiving on any signal remarkable event, not only as laudable one in itself, but as warranted by a number of precedents in Holy Writ. For instance, the solemn thanksgivings and rejoicings which took place in the time of Solomon after the building of the temple was a case in point, found in 2 Chronicles chapters 5 through 7, also in 1 Kings chapters 7 and 8. This example he thought worthy of Christian imitation on the present occasion, and he would agree with the gentleman who moved the resolution. Mr. Boudinot quoted further precedents from the practice of the late Congress and hoped that the motion would meet a ready acquiescence approval. The question was now put on the resolution, and it was carried in the affirmative. Congress's recommendation was delivered to President George Washington, who happily concurred, issuing America's first federal proclamation for a day of prayer and thanksgiving. That proclamation declared, whereas it is the duty of all nations to acknowledge the providence of Almighty God, to obey His will, to be grateful for His benefits, and humbly to implore His protection and favor. Now, therefore, I do recommend that we may then all unite in rendering unto Him our sincere and humble thanks for His kind care and protection of the people of this country, and also that we may then unite in most humbly offering our prayers and supplications to the great Lord and ruler of nations, and beseech Him to pardon our national and other transgressions, to promote the knowledge and practice of true religion and virtue. Notice that George Washington said that nations, not just individuals, but nations, have 4 duties. 1, to acknowledge the providence of Almighty God. 2, to obey his will, 3, to be grateful for his benefits, and 4, humbly to implore his protection and favor. This proclamation, along with the several other calls to prayer he issued in his administration, was written by Washington himself, whereas other presidents had chaplains of Congress write their proclamations. Significantly, America's first federal day of Thanksgiving occurred because founding fathers in Congress were thoroughly familiar with the Bible and found precedent for such a day from 2 Chronicles 5 through 7, one of many American practices with a biblical basis. Thank you for listening.